Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Hyde by Kiersten White. This is from Del Rey. And before I get into the book, I'm thinking I might need to make a new sign. This one's getting a little beat up. What do you think? Do I need a new one? Let's get into the book, Hyde. So Kiersten White, a New York Times best-selling author, this is her first adult novel. And that doesn't mean it's full of porn. This is about a group of 14 people. Our main character is Mackenzie. And they have to spend 7 days hiding in this old abandoned amusement park, and it's a big game of hide and seek, and whoever wins gets $50,000, I believe it is. But of course, this is a horror novel, so things aren't quite what they seem. There's your nutshell. For the too long didn't watch folks, I gave this 5 out of 5. I really, really loved this book. It starts off with a little bit of history of the amusement park, and why it closed down, essentially. And then we're introduced to Mac, who is living in a shelter. And after that little history, when we get to essentially... It doesn't even say chapter 1, but when we get to our Mac introduction, the second sentence, creepy as hell. So right off the bat, I'm into it. But we're introduced to Mac, and she's told that, hey, there's this thing that I think you'd be good for. This hide and seek game. And so Mac agrees to do it, and then we're introduced to the other 13 contestants. We get to know who they are. There's actually a list, just a quick little sort of snapshot that says, one's an influencer, wants to own a gym, one is, just a rich woman. I don't think that's right. Or one's a lifelong intern. So one's ex-military. So just a little snapshot of who they are. And then we meet them. We get to know their personalities. And we learn the rules of the game. Basically, they have to hide from dawn to dusk. And none of these 14 are seeking. All 14 have to hide. Someone else is the seeker. And 2 people will be eliminated each day. And once the sun goes down, they go back. There's a base camp set up with cots and tons of food and showers and everything. Basically, you want to find a hiding spot that you can stay in the entire time. You don't want to move because you don't want to get caught. Some people have questions like, what if I have to go to the bathroom? And the woman that's sort of their guide through this says, there are jars provided. And some people are like, well, I guess I'll just pee myself. But anyway, so all of this leads to a building tension. We go day by day. Mac is our main character, but the perspective, the point of view changes. We follow pretty much all of the characters at some point. And but Mac is really the one we're supposed to be rooting for. Although there are mostly likable characters. Some of them, you're going to have some assholes. And The tension builds and builds and builds. Things are revealed. Secrets come out. And I loved the characters. I loved the flow and progress of the story. And then once we get to the end, and this is probably one of my favorite endings in a long, long time. And I'm talking the very, very end, the last page. Absolutely loved it. So, as of this recording, Kiersten White has a new book out that I'm absolutely going to pick up. Haven't done it yet, but I will. I grabbed this a while ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf on one of my book carts, just staring at me. And I'm glad I finally decided to pull it out and read it, because it was absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure what else to say. There's so many twists and turns and surprises and things that I don't want to give anything away. So I think I've covered the important parts. You've got these 14 people, very different people. Some of them are very damaged. One might say all of them are damaged if they're well, yeah, in some way. You know, what is it that makes someone want to be an influencer? Is there some damage behind that? I don't know. I don't know anyone who's an influencer, personally. Anyway, these 14 interesting characters in this very tense situation, and things, man, the twists and turns, the writing. Some of it is epistolary. I just like to use that word now that I can remember it on a regular basis. There's a couple of spots where there are journal entries in one journal and journal entries in another journal, essentially. Two different journals that we get to read from. And those help to fill in a lot of what's going on. It's good stuff. Good, crazy, 5-star worthy stuff. So Hyde, Kiersten White. 5 out of 5 stars. That's all I've got for this one. Question. Would you play a mysterious game of hide and seek in an abandoned location if the prize was $50,000? Secondary question. Are you a fan of the game hide and seek? I can answer the first part. Loved playing hide and seek when I was a kid. One of my favorite games. Just so much fun. And it could get spooky, which of course is always a bonus. As for whether or not I'd play this type of game, probably. I mean, I would look into it beforehand. This this should have been part of the review, part of the overview of the book. But the contestants have been told that this might be a reality show. They will be filmed, and it's a sporting goods company that's running this, and so they're going to look at this footage and decide if they're going to make this a reality show kind of thing. I have no interest in reality shows. So I wouldn't do it for like that kind of thing. If it were just like a local, almost like an escape room thing, but it's hide and seek and there's a cash prize, I think that could be fun. But yeah, I wouldn't do it if it was going to be filmed in a reality show. No interest in that. What do you think? Would you do it for the money? Did you like hide and seek when you were a kid? Do you like hide and seek now as an adult? I don't know. Maybe you do. Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. If you're on Blue Sky, I'm at EL Smith. That's all I have for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.